I'm sick. So there's this game that recently released called The Forge, or as I like to call it, Fish 2, or I guess Fish 3. And literally everyone and their grandma is playing it. Like, look at my friends list. Literally everyone is on The Forge. And what do you do in this game, you might be wondering? Well, basically, you're a miner that mines. And as a miner, you're forced to feel bad for every NPC you interact with and do free labor for them. And who doesn't love free labor, am I right? And throughout the game, you mine various rarities of ores that you can then go and make, forge different armor pieces with. And that's basically the whole gameplay loop. Now, pretty much everyone is acting like this game is the second coming of Jesus himself. I mean, just look at the player count. And while I do think this game is good, I'm not busting everywhere while playing it. So let me give you my honest opinions about the game, because it seems like everyone has been paid to put a smile on their face and act like this is the pinnacle of gaming.
Pay attention, Roblox fans, because this game might have just changed Roblox forever.
So let's whip out the old Black Gojo Sensei skill and start off with the first category. Also, there's only 2 categories because I couldn't think of any more. I mean, there's not much to say because honestly, round of applause to the developers because this game actually looks amazing. All the animations are super smooth. I love the attention to little details, like how when you drink a potion, it doesn't disappear. You actually throw the bottle on the ground and you can see it, and how you can see what ores you're getting halfway through mining rocks. The monsters look pretty cool. Wait, is that... And I love how much character all the NPCs have. Oh, and how Sensei Moro is sometimes wearing nothing. So overall, I'd give the graphics a solid 8.5 Black Gojo Senseis out of 10. But now on to the main part. Now, as soon as you load in, you're thrown into a small tutorial. And of course, there's race rerolls. Like, why? Just why in the big 2020 almost 6 are we still doing race gambling? And look, I know no matter how you flip a sandwich, the bread comes first. But like, come on, there has to be better ways than just straight up gambling. Like, why not instead of gambling for races, there's certain quests that you can do to obtain a race. But now that I think about it, you kind of gamble for your race in real life. So maybe it does make sense. Now, the main gameplay loop is pretty much identical to Fish. Get ores, do quests, and get better pickaxes to mine better rocks, to then in turn get better ores. Now, okay, cool. I keep upgrading my pickaxes to get better ones.
And then what?
Like, this is what I don't understand from this game. Right now, there's no PvP, there's barely any PvE, so why would I want to get the best pickaxe and the best ores in the game just to have them? That's like being the last person left in the world and having $1 trillion. Like, there's no point. At least in Fish, it's way more worth it to get better and better rods, because then you can catch better fish easier, and that's the objective of the game, to fill up your bestiary and discover every fish. It's just mine, upgrade pickaxe, mine, upgrade pickaxe. And I hear ya. You're saying, well, getting better pickaxes does have a purpose, because then you can get better ores and then forge better armor and tools. And while that is true, you really don't need to do that, because once you have decent enough armor and weapons, you're set. You don't need better ones, because the mobs in this game are the same threat level as Megami. Most mobs in this game have such a simple 2-swing attack pattern that even the Rip Luffy starter packs can parry them. And because you don't need crazy good armor and weapons, you don't need to do a ton of forging, like, you know, what the game is named after. And when you do forge, it's actually so stupid. I will say the minigame part is cool, and the fact that you actually have to try in the minigames to get a good weapon rarity is awesome. But why is there gambling to forging? Like, how does that even make any sense? Do the devs really think that blacksmiths are like,
let me just tie these ores together and see what they make.
No, bro, like, that's not how it works. It just doesn't make any sense. The amount of times I've gotten so much ores to try to make a great sword or gauntlets and instead end up with the poop dagger is insane. But that brings us to my next gripe with this game, the mobs. The mobs seem so out of place. In fact, they seem like they were added 5 minutes before this game launched. Like, the devs were stressing that the game didn't have enough content and were like, fuck it, add skeletons and zombies or something, I don't know. Because the mobs don't really do anything besides give you the upgrade essence, and they're just annoying because all of them are level 1 bandits. Their attack patterns are so easy to parry. I'm literally parrying 2 at once just to prove my point. Like, this is the reason you don't need crazy armor and weapons. And this brings us to the most flawed part about this game, the quests. Now, the first world isn't that bad, but once you reach the second world, the quests are so boring that it made me quit the game. The Sensei Mora quests in this world are all the same. You have to go into the mines weapons, break a certain amount of rocks, and collect some ores. Okay, cool. But the fact that he makes you do this 5 different times with literally no variation in between is so lazy.
Skelly, go to the mines and mine 10 rocks and bring me 3 quartz and 3 lapis.
Okay, got it. Here are the ores you wanted, Sensei.
Thank you, Skelly. Now for your next task, break 20 rocks and bring me 5 iron and 5 copper.
Yes, Sensei Moro. Here's the 5 iron and 5 copper.
Thank you, Skelly. Now for your next task, break 30 rocks and bring me 3 quartz and 3 lapis.
You already asked me to do that.
Do it again.
Like, are we serious?
You better count your days, old man. I saw what you did earlier. Sensei Moro, more like Freaky Moro.
Could you guys really not think of anything better than copy and pasting the same quest 5 different times? And this commander literally does the same thing. Asks you to defeat a certain amount of enemies, but then ups the amount every single time. It's just so lazy and is one of the big reasons I didn't continue playing. So overall, I'd give the gameplay a solid 6 Black Gojo Senseis out of 10. Now, even though I spent the last couple minutes dogging on this game, I do think it's a fun game and way better than any of the recent games we've gotten on Roblox, except for this one. This one's peak. But I do have some gripes with this game, and I'm not an insane man that came here to criticize the game with no suggestions on how to fix it. So first off, forging. Let's completely delete the RNG-ness of the weapons and armor, because that's just annoying and doesn't make any sense, and add in a couple more minigame variations to the forging, because let's be honest, it gets repetitive super quick, and they all knew that too, because why else would they add a fast forge game pass, which basically skips all the minigames. Now here's a big one, bosses. Let's add bosses to the game that have a chance to drop really rare ore or items on death, and this would also help with the lack of forging that I mentioned earlier, because if you have to fight bosses with an actual moveset instead of mobs that just swing their sword twice, then you would have a motive to actually upgrade your gear. But I also think that adding bosses isn't enough. I think it should be a bit more intuitive than that. Like, let's say there's a Lava King boss and you have to fight him, but to do that easier, first you would want to go to the underwater cave world to craft water armor and weapons to make the Lava King fight easier, so it gives you a motive to come back to this fire world and not completely forget about it. For the races, I think a simple quest line to get whatever race you want would be enough. No more of this gambly shambly bullcrap, bro. But speaking of quests, for the love of God, please just put some more thought into the quest lines. I don't want to have to deliver quartz to Sensei Moro 50 different times and kill 5,000 skeletons. Just changing these things alone, in my opinion, would bump up the gameplay score at least 1.5 Black Gojo Senseis. Also, this really isn't a big issue, but why are all the people you sell your items to ex-GameStop employees? You can give this man the most well-forged, highest quality blade he's ever seen in his life, and he will look you dead in the eyes and be like, yeah, the best I can do is $5 and a half-eaten sandwich. And I know this game is still only in beta, so a lot could change, but a lot of the games that go from beta to release are either like, okay guys, here's the full release and add 5 pages of content logs, or okay guys, here's the full release, we added 5 new game passes, 10 more races, and a new pickaxe. So hopefully they actually cook, because this game could honestly be pretty solid. But as always, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours down in the comments below.